Did you know the closest the world ever came to ending wasn't during some Hollywood apocalypse? It was in October 1962, when two superpowers stared each other down over an island just 90 miles off the coast of Florida. This was the Cuban Missile Crisis. 13 days where one wrong move, one nervous trigger finger, or one dumb decision could have started World War III. It all began when a U-2 Dragon lady, yep, the same high-altitude snooper we just talked about, flew over Cuba and snapped photos of something nobody wanted to see. Soviet nuclear missiles, parked in the Caribbean like they were waiting for happy hour. These weren't small missiles either. If launched, they could have turned Washington, New York, or half the East Coast into glowing potholes in minutes. President Kennedy got the photos and instantly realized the US had a problem. A really big one. Do nothing? You look weak. Bomb the sites? You start a nuclear war. Invade Cuba? You really start a nuclear war. So Kennedy chose something in the middle, a naval quarantine. They said quarantine because blockade sounded too much like an act of war. Gotta love Cold War word games. American ships lined up in the Atlantic like a giant stop sign, daring Soviet freighters to cross the line. Meanwhile, the world held its breath. People stocked shelters. Kids practiced hiding under desks like that was going to help. And behind the scenes, both sides were sweating bullets. Here's the part nobody hears about. The most dangerous moment of the entire crisis wasn't in Washington or Moscow. It was inside a Soviet submarine near the blockade. American ships dropped practice depth charges. The Soviets thought nuclear war had already started. One officer wanted to launch a nuclear torpedo. One man, Vasily Arkhipov, said no. He might have saved the world, and he never bragged about it. Back on land, the two leaders finally blinked. Khrushchev agreed to pull missiles out of Cuba. Kennedy agreed to quietly remove US missiles from Turkey. And just like that, the world stepped back from the ledge. No missiles launched. No cities vaporized. Just 13 days of pure Cold War panic. We're still lucky to have survived. If you enjoyed this trip down the rabbit hole, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Smart History for Dumb Times. And if you feel like fueling more historical deep dives, the link to buy me a coffee is in my bio.